Alright, good morning and welcome back to Rustic Trends, my new YouTube channel. And this is something I decided to start, which I explained in my first video, that I like building things out of wood for a hobby. And it graduated into, as everyone likes to call it, and I do, the 12-foot monster. As you can see, I didn't get too much done, unfortunately, yesterday. Things burned up a lot of time. I got the trim work done around the top, and it takes a lot of wood to do that because being 12 feet long, it takes a lot of wood. I got the trim work done around here, and all the way down the other side here. And you know now, my shop is not that big. It is teeny tiny. It's basically a one-car garage. So down here, I got the trim work done, getting ready to build the doors here out of the leftovers. I like to use, the leftovers if you can, because you're not making any waste, not at all. These are the boards I like to use. These are the dog ear cedar planks. I get these out of Home Depot. 6 feet long, but unfortunately when they trim the top of them like this, it cuts off about an inch or so, so you really can't use it. So you get roughly 5 feet, maybe 10 inches out of it, but it's cheap altogether with taxes here in New York, about $1.91 a board. Not really that bad. 2x4s are about $2.30 to $2.40 a piece, depending on where you go. Excuse me, I'm getting over a cold here, so bear with me. Wrapping this, as I like to say, the skeleton's made out of 2x4s. Wrapping it with that cedar wood, I have gone through quite a bit of those. I mean, way more than I would have ever intended, because being a 12-foot bar, this thing will eat up a lot of them. I have probably gone through, well, I picked up 80, and I went through more than that. So roughly anywhere between 80 to maybe 100 total around in there. And that's not including, I plan on using these for the seats of the bar stool. So that will probably, I got to build 12 of them. It's going to take me a little bit, but I will get it accomplished. And it's probably going to go through maybe about 15 of them, about 15 to 20 for the bar stools. So it's total, 110, maybe 110, 120, ballparking it. At $1.91 a piece, that's not too bad. If you start buying the regular wood for the top, they do make these 6-inch planks that are 8 feet long. A lot of times I do opt for them because it gives a way cleaner look, but I can't do it this time because this build was way too expensive to do, and it just took a whole lot of money to build it. But everyone likes my work. I'm happy with it. The customers love it, so that makes for a good build. So now what I'm going to wind up doing today is I am going to build the doors, and I got to do a ton of sanding because, as you can see, I'm trying to show you here, how your edges here, they're not nice and flat, and there's still a little bit of roughness. Sometimes I'll run these to a planer if they're really bad, which I use a Craftsman planer. I'm happy with it. The one nice thing I do like about it, if you get nicks in your blade, you can take it apart and you can take the blades and flip them over, which is great because the blades are not cheap. They run roughly about $60 for a set of them. So yeah, it gets expensive really quick if you got to keep buying blades, so you hope and pray you don't get a nick in them, but it doesn't take much to get a nick in it at all. I've done it before I built a kitchen island for a woman, and she decided that, well, she picked the color, okay, custom built island. She picked the color, and then decided after about a day she doesn't like the color. Okay, I put about 6 coats of clear onto the top of it. She thought I could just sand it off. it's not that simple. You can't just take clear and sand it off. The only way you're really going to get it off fast is she thought that you could just flip the board over. You can't, because when you're building a custom piece and everything's not perfect, if you flip it over, it's not going to line up correctly. So I told her I have to run it through my planer. I thought I had all the nails out of it, even though I use finishing nails. They're tiny, but they still will put nicks in your blade. Believe me when I say it. I don't care how small it is. If it's going to do it, it's going to do it. I know I wound up killing all the blades on it, and that when I found out, when I took it apart, I could take the blades and turn them over, and it saved me the agony of having to buy a new one, because I don't have a lot of money. I use what I have as long as I can until I really have to buy new ones. And the Craftsman ones are kind of all their own. All the other ones, like Harbor Freight, their blades, I guess they're all their own. They're all different. So I got lucked out. I was able to turn them over. And I had to restain the whole entire thing. I did it too. She wanted depth in the wood. Originally, she wanted a pecan color for her island. Okay, and I built it on wheels. And she wanted a drawer built into it. I will put up a still picture of it, some pictures of it, because I didn't take a video of it. This is, all new to me. And I wound up changing the color, and she wanted depth in the wood. When you have a light color, you really don't see much of the depth. You get a darker color, you'll see the grain of the wood, you'll get depth. It comes out beautiful. So I had to rip it apart, the whole top of it, and then she wants the sides of it 10 inches on each side to fold down for saving space. Okay, I had customized it and rebuilt the top again. Run the wood all through the planer. Not happy about it, but I did it, and I had to restain the whole entire thing, and I had to put hinges on it, and I used steel stock. I'll show you what I used here for my pins to hold it up. This stuff right here, and about a half inch. It's heavy, and it's thick. It'll do the job. It'll hold up anything you want it to. Just like with this bar, I did the same thing. I made it about 5 inches long, and you just get it hot in the vise, and you just L-shape it, hit it with a hammer, and drill your holes, and you can use them as a pen. That's what I did for hers. So she was happy with the way it came out. So that made me happy. It set me back a little bit on another build that I was working on. I built a receptionist desk for a day spa that was opening up. That'll be a whole nother video. I will make a video of pictures of it, and I will actually go to the day spa of the customer that wanted it built and see how well they like it. So this will give you an idea of how my work is and what the customers really think. Okay, back to my 12-foot monster. Yeah, I'm close to completion on it. Hopefully by today I will have this thing all sanded down, doors built, have them all lined up, hinges on them, handles, the magnets that hold them closed, and stained, and the top cleared. Once this is here, this will free up a ton of space, and I can start building the bar stool that will go with it, 12 of them. But every time I do a build like this, it makes a heck of a mess. You have no idea. It looks like it snowed in here because I don't have one of those vacuum cleaner, containers, the vacs that suck everything out of all your saws and things like that. So it snowed in here basically. It goes everywhere. So when you get done with a build, you're wiping everything down, cleaning all your tools, and sweeping the floor, everything. And I've learned cover a lot of things in plastic. Even if you do, it still works its way in there, but it does help. But with this, like I was saying, my 12-foot monster here, I love this piece. I really, really would hate to see it leave, because every time I build a piece, it's a part of me that leaves. They're all custom made. I have to come up with the idea out of my head on pretty much how to create it to how somebody wants it. I have a general idea, but they always wind up changing, and it works out good. And that's how I learn, to do a better product, a better build, and my customers really seem to like it, thank God. So that being said, this guy, I will miss it. This is my biggest build to date. Usually they're, 8 foots, and then they started getting into 10 foots. Now, this is my 12 foot. If they get any bigger, I am definitely going to need a bigger space. I can build them up to 16 feet on wheels. You're pretty much going to need a flatbed truck to get it out of here. This one would be a little difficult to get it out, but the guy who I'm building this for had the 12-foot trailer, so that'll be a whole lot easier. And I explained before, the top is removable. He wanted it like that, so when he goes to put it away, the area that it needs to go to, it's through a regular man door, but it's not that wide. So taking the top off, I built the base of it wide enough to go through a door. And the tops, it's in 2 pieces. You can, carry it and put it away, and he can put it away for next year or whenever he needs it again. So this is my first one building it with a removable top. Nobody's ever asked for that. They've asked for certain sizes or certain amount of inches of overhang. I can do it. It's not that hard. You just take your time, and if you screw up, you can always go back and correct it, or just buy more wood. But this guy, yeah, I love this build. It will be kind of sad to see it go, but I know it's going to a really good home, and this guy will love it, and his family will love it, and friends and relatives will love it for years to come, because I'm sure it will last a very, very long time, because I did build it heavy. When I build something, I do kind of overbuild it, but I want it to last. When I had something that requires 1 screw, I put 2, maybe 3. I want to make sure this is going to be around a long time. So, walking around my shop, as you can see, I've had to put plastic up. Stops it from raining on me, but I've had to do pretty much most of the ceiling in here because my ceiling doesn't have the plastic. It likes to sweat and drip. I don't know if you can see it on this side, but yeah, there's some water up there. But there's nothing I can do about that right now. I just have to deal with it and make the best of it. But putting the plastic up, when I go do the clear on it or the stain, I don't want water landing on it because it will ruin the top, and I don't feel like sanding it down and doing more work. I don't want it going through more product. So the plastic is saving me from that. It's stopping it from dripping on my head. But the only downfall to it is it likes to pool up in a little spot. I'll show you. It looks like a giant blister. As you can see right here. Yeah, it's dripping right into this lovely, lovely bucket. But for right now, it's stopping all the water from landing all over this beautiful, beautiful bar. And let me move here. This is what I mean by it makes a mess. This stuff goes everywhere. Good God, it goes everywhere. I know I don't have the biggest shop in the world, and things get full of sawdust and crapped up in here really, really quick. But I just keep cleaning. Every time I build something, it's a lot of cleaning. And it winds up all over the floor. Sweeping it up isn't bad when the ground is dry. But like here, I had the one kerosene heater going to try and keep the temperature up, and it's slowly drying in this section. But it's just the time of the year, it gets cold out, everything sweats, and you just deal with it. But over here, it goes in there, and then it gets all goopy, and like